Welcome to the Screen Rot Podcast, the podcast where we discuss the weirdest and worst content that's been rotting our screens and indeed our minds. I'm here with Jake Farrell.
Yeah, and obviously last week, the events of last week referred to at the beginning of the podcast. We had a bit of a row last time we recorded, and as a result, we'd like to make the announcement that the Screen Rot Podcast is going absolutely nowhere.
Yeah!
You will have to prize this podcasting equipment out of my cold, dead hands.
The Koch brothers are back.
We've never called each other that.
The Koch brothers. Yeah, I don't know where that came from. No, but we're all good. Listen, I made mistakes.
Mistakes were made on both sides.
Jesus Christ.
But we're back.
Do you know what? I thought it was horrible. I thought the episode, I've got to be honest, I didn't really listen to it. When you messaged me, you were like, have a listen and like tell me. I managed like 5 minutes. I was like, I can't fucking finish this. Usually, I listen to each episode about 4 times.
Right.
Like, if it, not because of editing and because of finding the reels.
Pure
and
vanity.
Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
No, I do really enjoy it as
No,
well.
no,
Like,
no.
by the 4th time, I'm still enjoying it. That one, 5 minutes. I was like, I cannot fucking.
Yeah. It's like one of those things where, kind of like, what do they call it? Like exposure therapy or something, where you confront the thing that you're afraid of, and it takes you back to the moment, so you can like process the emotion.
Oh, but I didn't want to process the emotion. It was horrible.
Yeah.
I felt so pranged after that. I felt so bad. I felt so pranged out all week. Like I was saying all week, I was saying to someone, I feel so horrible about this.
I felt the same, but also the most pathetic thing ever, because like I was just a bit like flat afterwards, and then it's like I have to go and say to my wife that I'm feeling a bit flat because my podcast record didn't go very well. Just googling divorce lawyers Camberwell, just like trying to get it sorted out. No, look, we're back. We're not going anywhere. No. We're coming for the off menu boys. We're coming for Nish Kumar and all the other people.
A podcast,
He's doing one about politics, about American politics, I think. Yeah.
Really? Oh,
yeah.
I can't wait to listen. No, I'm back. I've been on holiday. I've been away.
And I received some updates from Portugal. You're in Portugal. Mm-hmm. Received some updates. It looked unbelievable time.
Yeah, it was good. It's just what I needed after the row. It really was.
Jacob wasn't going on holiday till we had the row. He had to book himself.
I don't know if it was actually. We booked it like the day before we went.
Nice.
So it might have been. Yeah, I think it was that Monday night we booked it. I think
wasn't that far off.
I need to go away. Yeah, no, it was good, man. Proper all inclusive.
Old
you know
school.
What I mean, proper. Yeah. Oh, mate. It was. It like I can't tell you where it was. I know I was in Portugal.
Oh right.
I don't know anymore.
I thought you were like not allowed. I can't. You can tell me where it is, but you'd have to kill me.
It was literally just one of them, like hot, tick, 4 stars, definitely a 3-star, really tick. Do you know what I mean? Like free beer, yeah, sweet.
I always look at those when you look at them and you go on holiday, and it's like this is a 4-star, like on the Portugal internal rating scale.
Well, exactly, yeah. Like when we book it, we sat there and we've got like 6 different hotels. It's like, well, this one's 4-star, but then it got this and this, and it's like honestly, fucking like throw them up in the air. Whatever one lands first,
exactly,
just choose that, because you cannot believe anything the internet says about any of them.
No.
It's probably all bollocks.
But do you remember though when you'd go when you were a kid and they were doing it off a page in a book?
Yeah.
The teletext. And there would be a moment where you'd be arriving there at like 11 o'clock at night, because obviously you're on terrible flights. Yeah. And then there would be a moment where it's like, is it going to be half built? Is it going to be half built?
Yeah.
Like, at least now you don't have that worry.
You know what the front door looks like and what the pillow in the room looks like from the 2 pictures in the brochure that the man in the travel agent showed you.
Yeah,
you don't know
taken in 1995, yeah.
Ours was a bit like that. It's quite funny. We got there. I was a bit drunk. I was drunk the whole time. I was a bit drunk when
How
we
are you
got
a bit
there.
drunk when you got there?
I drank on the plane.
Oh my
and then
God.
I got a little tinny for the transfer. But I was a bit drunk when we got there. And all the pictures, it had got like, kids slides, bouncy castle, blah, blah. And it was for the kids, really. I was like, and we get there, and there's just none of that. And I'm like, what's going on? Whoa, I'm going to go speak to the man right now. And then Lana was like, baby, the other pool's just over there. I was that close to being like, you lied to me. And I was thinking, that holiday you went on?
Yeah.
Where last
that was
year,
about the start of this
Scouse people
yeah.
being like, they've robbed me.
Yeah. We got there and they're like, yeah, that's the moment. And I think like men like you and I, and probably our arguments come from the fact that I think we're largely very similar about something. It's like when you arrive, you are looking for something to have a row about immediately. Is this in which way am I going to be annoyed?
How have I been cheated?
How have I been? The world is obviously out to get me.
Who's missold me here?
Yeah.
who's the most reasonably priced holiday I've ever paid for? Who has done me over?
And it's like I've been watching a lot.
Who can I blame?
I've been watching a lot of Curb Your Enthusiasm recently, and superficially, you wouldn't say, "Oh well, Larry David, a kind of New York-born, LA-living man of Jewish extraction that wrote one of the world's biggest sitcoms, would really know what was going on in Stevenage." He'd be so at home in Stevenage.
He knows, yeah.
They're all men in Stevenage who are exactly like him, just in a different way.
What the fuck? It's exactly the same.
Where's the kids' ball? You told me to be a kids' ball.
Yeah. No, it was good. It was very nice.
What's the highlights? I remember you sent a video, or I think you put a video on Instagram of like the, and I love this. This is so like redolent of my childhood. The animation team. Well, how has that word got transliterated into like entertainment animation?
I know,
it's amazing.
I know. At one point, I was sat next to one of the girls, this poor like 19-year-old Portuguese girl, who's part of the animation team. But basically, can
you explain the animation team to the middle class listeners?
Yeah, okay. Well, I don't know how. They're these like young kids, and you know, if you go to Spain, it'll be a young Spanish kid. In Portugal, it's a young Portuguese kid, and they're there to sort of work as entertainment staff.
Yes.
But that is the broadest description because it means they will do the Zumba in the pool with the old girls in the morning.
Yes.
Then they'll be there to welcome you to breakfast and show you where to sit.
Right.
Then they'll do kids club. Then they'll organise like a kind of. Like with us, they were trying to get us to sort of play darts. Like they'll go around the pool, getting all the dads to come and play darts.
What
together.
could have made them think that you, a man covered in tattoos with his shirt off, drunk, would want to play darts?
Well, do you know the funny thing? We went to a slightly nicer resort in Greece last year for an all-inclusive, and like it was much harder to spot the English people, and I was the worst. Do you know what I mean? I was like most tattooed, like drunkest. Whereas this time I was nowhere near. And it was
you're mid-table in Portugal.
Yeah, exactly. And like some of the dads there were fucking brilliant. They're like Sheffield United towels across the lounges, across two lounges,
6 a.m.
so people could see them, and then like Sheffield United hats on, and so many tattoos, so much vaping as well. That's another thing.
Yeah, vaping is a new thing. Yeah,
unbelievable. Like we got chatting to this mum. She's there with her mum, so the nan, and then this like 7-year-old kid who like loved my daughter. They had like a selection of vapes on the sun lounger in front of them, and they would both like pick a different one
Vape
every hour.
tapas.
So, yeah, it's like the buffet experience for vaping. But anyway, so that's the animation stuff. They just entertain people all day, and then at night they do like the you know, there's entertainment. Again, it's like well-off people don't understand this.
No,
we need entertainment.
No, well-off people play like Scrabble and stuff like that. And they kind of like
they're just having a conversation.
All that.
Whereas people like us, when we go away, we need
Baileys.
We haven't got the telly, so someone needs to replace the telly.
Ideally, you're looking for the telly, but in real life.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and apparently there's this thing called theatre, but that's what they did. It was fucking mental. Basically, in the middle of this resort, like under one of the restaurants, they had this huge theatre, like genuinely massive theatre, and they turned like half the floor into like a dance floor.
Yeah,
and then like these like 20-year-olds who'd been playing football with the kids and doing Zumba and then showing you where the omelette bar is at breakfast, were now suddenly doing like ballet. It was mental. I was gobsmacked. And like I say, there was one night where one of the animation team, one of these people, they had like a night off. And this poor girl, like she sat there in the audience, and I'm sat. My missus has had enough of me, so I know not to chew her ear off.
This is day one. This is 4 hours in.
When she's breastfeeding my son, he's kind of falling asleep. My little girl's just dancing, and I'm like, excuse me, and she's like, okay, and I was like, you're part of the team, aren't you? I'd forgotten the word animation. So I can't remember what I said to her. I was like, I think I said to her, you're part of the satisfaction team. She's like, what? Huh? And I was like, you did the enjoyment team. And she's like, animation? I was like, right. And I just basically did this conversation to her. I was like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And she said, not much money in Portugal, you know. And I was like, so what are you doing? How much are you getting paid? She's like, I don't want to say. And I just sat there quizzing this poor teenager. But it's unbelievable. They're the most talented people. And as you say, I did put a video of them on my Instagram, and I was like, what is the job description for the? How do you hire
That's a good
for
point.
this? And I had about 50 people be like, they're all on cocaine.
No, No, that would really
No,
because
they're
like,
not.
in my
They're definitely not.
childhood,
They're definitely
that
not.
would be like a really like an innocent moment. Would be like, yeah, the lad like Miguel from Malaga that's like he's sick at football, and at night he's doing karaoke. He's doing he's doing La Bamba or
But
whatever.
this is the thing, they weren't doing karaoke. Like they're
They're doing, like,
quiet.
plays almost.
Yeah, there was one night they did a play about a bar. Sometimes they would just sing, but then there was times where they put on Coldplay and do like proper interpretive dance and ballet,
Incredible.
and you get the vague idea that like these aren't just, it's essentially like, kids who've done a fucking PE degree who just want something to do in the summer.
Yeah.
You get the vague idea that actually these are like, they kind of had enough of a look of like, if you ended up being like a Goldsmith student who lived in Whitechapel, like do you know what I mean?
If they had all inclusives in Whitechapel, you'd be doing
But
it.
I almost got the feeling that like these are like Portugal trendies.
Okay.
They're probably doing like short films about suicide in the winter.
Yeah.
And then they come and make
Bit
their
of money
money.
together on
They-
this,
yeah,
yeah,
then
yeah.
they come and make their money doing kids club in the summer. But yeah,
And what the animation teams have got down is British people will watch anything if there is an open and free bar.
exactly.
At
Well,
the
mate,
same time.
And I was saying to my missus again, she was so fed up by this point. But I was saying to her, I was like, if we could do this in London, I was
Yeah.
like, all you'd need to do, because essentially, I watched, because there was different, like, it's like different coach loads of people arrive every single day. And I was watching everyone at walk, because every night you'd go to this theatre for hour and a half kids' entertainment, then hour of adults' entertainment, which kids would stay up for. And everyone walks in and they go, oh, God, what is this? Theatre? I
didn't sign up for
but
this.
then your kid just runs on a dance floor,
Yeah.
starts
Hello.
dancing with this bloke in a chicken costume called Uki, and then you go, hang on, they're fine.
Then they bring out the vapes.
Well, that's what people were doing. But that's what people were doing. It was like, hang on, Uki's keeping an eye on the kid,
Yeah.
and Uki they've got some kind of DBS check. They're in charge of kids club,
Presumably.
earlier, so they're fine. They're fine. All the furnishing's soft. There's the bar,
Yeah.
and there's some seats.
Yeah,
and you're
yeah.
going, hang on, this is the dream.
Yeah.
Like if you, as a parent, any parents listening will be like, where
Yeah.
can I go?
Sign me
'Cause
up.
But I was like, because essentially what you're saying is you can drink and get drunk while your kid's okay.
Yeah,
Right,
safe.
and it's like if you could, I don't know how you'd communicate that in London. Like I was literally thinking, I was like, we could rent a theatre, get some people like this. We could even fly these ones over. I don't know, and they just do this.
Okay, darling. Have you ever been to Archway, my love? Come with me.
Come on, Uki.
You're gonna be part of the satisfaction team.
Idris Barber and Co. Uki. You'll learn a skin fade. You'll make a pension. No, but I was just like, because nowadays, if you go to like festivals, like festivals are kind of geared towards that now.
Yeah,
Festivals
yeah,
are so
yeah.
expensive. It used to be that like Reading and Leeds were like the main festivals because it was like people who finished A levels and just wanted to go and watch the Maccabees and get
Take
hammered,
ketamine,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, right. Whereas now, it like our generation and the generation slightly above that of parents haven't grown up.
No,
do you know what I mean?
yeah.
Like they haven't done what our parents did, which was like give up on fashion, give up on having a good time, dedicate your life to your children, and just like just do whatever they want to do.
Yeah.
Our generation of parents still wear Vapor Max.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
they're podcasting.
Yeah, but they're podcasting. They haven't given up, and they still want to be able to go and have a good time.
Right.
So if you go to like Bestival or like festivals nowadays, or like even like smaller ones like Stand and Calling and stuff
Right,
like that,
right.
it's all just parents.
Yeah, yeah.
It's all just parents who are still getting on it.
Fancy street food.
Yeah, fancy street food, and their kids are running around them, and it's like if you could just work, mate. If you could make a mint. Parents would pay a fucking killing if you were just like if you somehow I don't know how you say on the poster want to get pissed with your kids. Right? But essentially, any parent reading that would go, "Well, I don't need to pay for a babysitter, so all the babysitting money could go on a ticket."
Yeah,
You
yeah,
could
yeah.
charge 35 quid a ticket.
Yeah.
You could say, "Look,
You've reinvented the package holiday.
put to it in Holloway Road."
Do it on a Saturday afternoon.
But that's what I was thinking Saturday afternoons because I was like, well, no one's working. But then
Yeah.
you can do it on a Friday.
I think the kitsch factor of that would be quite funny as well. If you did if you called it the animation team and you didn't try.
That'd be the problem if you tried to be like, oh, it's a bit like Benidorm. That's when it becomes cringe and horrible. Do you know what I mean?
That's when the Top Job boys are
It's
coming
almost
down.
gentrification then.
Yeah,
do you know what I
yeah.
mean? That's when that cafe in Archway that everyone hates, that Normans.
Yeah,
Everyone they sort of pretends to be like, oh, baggers and mash, but they're from a nice farm. It's like everyone hates.
If me and you get rich off of putting on fake working class holidays for middle class people, I don't mind if we get rich. If someone else gets rich,
Yeah, that's how gentrification works.
Yeah.
Anyway, we should do an episode.
Probably should talk about
Jesus,
this.
14 minutes. Okay, quick bits of admin. There are still a handful. When I say a handful, it's literally a handful of
Last
tickets
couple,
left for the live show. grab them. They might be gone by the time this goes out, but grab them if you can. Josh Pugh coming on, talking rubbish with us, and there's all sorts of other surprises. 8th of August. Link in bio. What else do we need to say?
Well, other than that, I mean, we're going to start talking about Patreon in the next few weeks.
It is coming.
Not today, but we'll just to kind of trail it, I suppose, get people used to the idea.
So basically, there will be ads on these ones at some point.
Yeah.
Soon, I don't know. But there's ads coming to this, so it'll be ad-free. We're going to try and do a bit of extra content each week that will be Patreon only.
Bit of early access to the main episode.
To this one. And then also there'll be some kind of group chat where
some kind of
rotters
Discord
can
server.
just some kind of like group area where people just throw stuff in and have a chat about that.
So the National Crime Agency can just monitor directly. Right?
yeah. I mean, I don't know how we're going to manage and regulate that. But anyway, it's all coming and it'll be cheap and it will be. The key thing is it'll be very secretive. I know no one wants their wife to find out about that. So you're going to be called the Freemasons. That's what the Patreon tier is going to be called.
Yeah, we'll do it so that if it comes out the joint account, it will say like, I don't know, porn site on it or something, so that it's more reputable than subscribing to us. You'd rather them find out about that. But yeah, it's coming soon. We're just coming out. You can hear we've got the kind of outlines of the idea. If you've got any ideas, what you want to see, what you want to hear from it, do get in touch. Drop us a line.
Bebo, innit? Yeah, I got a baz with them. Anything you want us to do, we'll do it.
Any kinds of content, I'll do all kinds of content.
And I'm on tour. You can come see me. Jake will be supporting for some of them. Blah blah blah.
Oh yeah, 9th of June, the big one. Is there any tickets left for that one actually though?
Maybe
a handful of tickets left for that at best as well. 9th of June. That's Finsbury Park Theatre, isn't it?
Park Theatre.
Theatre in Finsbury Park. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's all the admin that we can do.
Cool.
I'm going to leave you to introduce this guy this week.
So
just take a back seat on this one, I think.
So, a lot of the what's really nice about this show now is it's got a really lovely group of listeners, and you often send us stuff and say you've got to get this guy, you've got to get that, and often we'll get people recommending the same people because there'll be someone trending. And they're like, you've got to get this one. No one's asked for this guy. I'm just fascinated by him. I don't know what his name is. I've tried to find out. There's not much out there. This week we're talking Frost and Leo. It's fair to say I'll be interested.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, get on this.
Please. Excited to see what you come up with this one.
How would you define the authentic self?
Where's the bell? Quick, get the bell. How would I define the authentic self? I mean, it's got to be the earliest bell of the whole experience. Well, I'll give you one. How would I define the authentic self? I think it's probably the person...
And I did have a weed edible last night, by the way, when I was preparing for this.
Did have one just shortly before we started recording. It's a good question. I think I might go with, it's the person that you are with the person that you love the most, perhaps. The most open version of yourself.
Yes.
Which in my case, he's not a great guy. I'm not sure about that. He's a guy that does a lot of Donald Trump impressions.
Right. That there. You've hit nail on the head there. And that's where I was trying to go with this. Each of us has a certain side of ourselves that entertains ourselves. And I think that is an element of what you might call the authentic self.
Yeah.
The noises you make when you're on your own. The voices you do to wind up your missus.
Yeah.
Frost and Leo, who... I don't know if anyone will know him by his Instagram handle. He's a big guy in New York who went viral because he was making noises.
It's just really hard to explain. I was on the way here and I was like, I wonder how he's going to put it. Like, what is it?
He was making noises on the tube. That's what he was doing.
All right, we'll see you next week.
He was making noises on the tube. He was doing a bit of opera singing and then he was making noises like a cat.
Yes.
And he filmed himself doing it and it went a bit viral.
It went quite viral for a couple of weeks.
Viral for a couple of weeks. Now, I think a lot of people have switched off because he just kept doing it, whereas I can't stop watching it because I'm fascinated. And he's called Frost and Leo. That's named after his kittens.
Yes, I saw that.
Now, this guy... He lives on his own in a bedsit in New York.
Yeah.
And essentially, what I think has happened is he spent a long time on his own with these cats. He's got really good at making a meow sound.
Yes.
I I don't know if he's trained, but he can do opera singing.
He can belt out a note for
and
sure.
he started filming himself doing that. Ladies and gentlemen, that's it. I'm so sorry. That's all I've got.
But
But I'm fascinated by him.
And I think you're right, though. There is something about like the person that you are when no one else is looking, but the internet being an outlet for that. And people's internet presence is so unbelievably curated, right? And now, obviously, it's become a bit of a thing that it's a trope that is cringe, right? Like people like now meme those kind of posts. So like a famous one would be like, you know, like the hot dogs or legs kind of thing.
Oh yeah, sure.
Or where you're on holiday and it's like, oh, I've had worse Mondays. Or
Yeah. Right.
And now people kind of act as though they are self-awarely putting that post, but they are still doing that post,
yeah,
right?
exactly.
And it's still very curated, right? Exactly. Whereas Frost and Leo is not his name. Name of his cat. He is like genuinely raw, uncut. This is me,
and that's what I really. It's like, you know, that saying of like, if you leave an infinite amount of monkeys in a room with an infinite amount of typewriters. I'm not saying it properly.
No, you are.
I
thought you were going to really butcher it, but you didn't. Yeah.
Like if you leave enough lonely freaks with iPhones,
and broadband
one of them
internet
will go viral for something
completely unexpected,
and it's he might as well be burping. Do you know what I mean? It's like his soul is burping.
Yeah.
It's just.
Soul is burping.
But you know what I mean? It's like when you're left alone and you just make a noise and you just. But
it's like
out.
But then, you know, they say that like when you take ayahuasca or whatever, you're like the drug strips you of all ego and actually you feel the true self underneath.
It's egoless. Yeah,
it's ego death.
Ego death.
He is pure ego death. He might be the most mentally healthy person on the internet.
Yeah. Right now. I think that's a great way of teeing up the first clip. Let's just watch a clip of who Jake has just labelled the most mentally healthy person on the internet.
I think this is a singing one rather than a noises one.
Can we go noises then, if you don't mind?
Right,
if we go for one down. This is the most mentally healthy person on the internet.
Excuse me. As I was saying... or did I stutter?
Little cat noise at the end there.
Now, what he just did, that kind of excused me as I was saying.
Yeah.
He did a thing there that I do sometimes and that other people do that I really love, where they'll say what sounds like dialogue from a television programme. Right. You imagine that's like the catchphrase of his favourite character.
Yeah.
And I'm 99% sure that if you said to him, "What's that from?" he'd go, "Oh."
I don't know.
Do you know what I mean? Everyone has that as well. Everyone has a thing that they'll just say to themselves, and it's like, so where does it come from? I don't know.
Emma and I, I don't know that she'll like me doing this.
I'm glad. Can I just say, I know you're about to start a sentence about something this is what I was trying to get to. The sad thing about this guy is you're about to give an example similar to this of something you do when you're around your partner, when you're around your wife, right? We're his wife. Carry on, so I want to hear your example. But I just wanted to. I know I started this episode a bit weird of being like the authentic self, but this is what I'm trying to get at.
It's true, but parasocial relationships, which is like internet-based relationships that never come to fruition in real life, they do function like that, I suppose. And so, like Emma and I do this thing where, like, if we're, I don't, she won't like this. If like someone will be like, "Oh, can you make me a cup of tea?" We'll just be like, "No, sorry," like that.
That's exactly it.
And we try to work out where it came from, and like we think that it comes from. You know, they did that show People Time. Like
right,
and there's one where like Liam Williams is like, "I'd like to go to Riga," and the other bloke's like, "There's no birds in Riga, Liam, sorry," like that, and we think that that's where it's come from. But it's like a photocopy of a photocopy of a photocopy, like
it doesn't resemble the initial. Yeah, exactly that. But that's that for me is one of the most joyful ways to live.
Right.
You know, when you can just do that.
Yeah.
Like make noises.
Just make noises. No, but we should know. Come on. It's fucking fun to make noises.
So
this is a man thing, though. I think dudes do like to make noises.
Well, yeah. So my son,
not clear to the audience,
my
we
son
didn't take
is
weed edible before this.
No, but this, look.
No, come on, let's get into it.
But this is one of those things. But I do worry that people are going to listen and go, "What the fuck are they talking about?"
We're 35 episodes in, mate. That ship has sailed.
When we were doing the prep for this, we're going through these videos. I'm like, Jake's travelled from work for this, like. And it's just a guy going, "Excuse me," blah, blah, blah. And he starts meowing at the end. But everyone has a bit of that. I did it to my girlfriend, and it kills her. It drives her mental. Like, I've got so many. Like, you've got sorry. I've got a catalogue, man. I've got so many. But it's also one of the early ways that I've managed to communicate with my son.
Right.
So my son's 1, so he can't really talk. He's got like 5 words or something. But he loves some of my. So like one I'll do that he quite likes. And again, I have no idea where it comes from. I'll go, right, and he'll go, ah! And then another one I'll go, my body, my choice. And he'll go, nah. I don't know where any of them come from.
This is an episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm. This is like Larry teaching and then the teacher goes, Larry, why did you teach him how to say my body, my choice? It's such a funny thing to say.
But I don't know where it came from.
Right.
Oh God, I shouldn't have said that one. But I don't know. There were people going, "Oh, what are you mocking someone who's
mocking the pro-choice movement?"
Is it pro? I don't know what my body. Is it like you were saying? You don't know where your one comes from. No. I don't know where my one comes.
And also, and I think we both experienced it, having kind of brought 2 of them into the world. They're so much better when they're secret.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Sorry, guys. Yeah, they probably are.
But Frost and Leo has chosen to.
Excuse me, as I was saying, and then he speaks Spanish.
Yeah.
And then at the end, it's the kind of trademark, which is the thing he does most of the time, which is the meow.
The meow.
Which I guess if there's some pathos with this character, and I do think there is.
Let's find it. Keep digging for it.
Well, it's the meows.
Yeah.
And there'll be people listening going, well, what's wrong with the meow? Maybe your thing with your partner is you meow at each other. I know I bark at my son. I mean, I don't know if you'd remember, I might have sent you a video over Christmas where... Oh, God, so Jesus Christ.
People trying to follow the through line of this.
Sorry. But like at Christmas, I send Jake a lot of videos of me doing noises like this. And there was one, I made a song at Christmas. I might even link it at the end of the episode, where I would bark a lot around my daughter.
Yeah. She loved it.
She did love it. And she would meow. And there's this song that goes, sing a song of sixpence. And they did a Christmas version that had all the Christmas bells. And we made a video where I'm barking, I'm going, and she goes, meow. Anyway.
It's great timing on her part.
Yeah, it's good.
It's good comic timing.
I will stick it. But the point I'm trying to make is, you've got your thing with your missus.
Yes.
I've got my thing with my missus. I've got one with my son. I've got one with my daughter. His is with his cats.
Yes.
I think the thing... The reason we're getting an insight through this man into everyone's kind of inner language they have with their closest people is because, unfortunately, he doesn't have any closest people, I don't think.
And, yes, we may or may have not called him a freak at one point in this podcast. But I think
We're freaks as well. We like him because we're freaks.
That's very clear from what we've just told you about our relationships with our significant others. Yeah. I think, broadly, and I was looking through the comments and stuff, like, he's found quite a lot of acceptance online. He's found people being like, I mean, I'm sure with anything online, there's the people saying or commenting really horrible stuff. There's quite a lot of people being like, "Go off, King."
Oh yeah. No, there are. There's something about this guy where, okay, so he's homosexual, right? And he's very open about that. Okay. And he kind of talks. He does that thing a lot where he kind of puts on a kind of
sassy lady voice.
Exactly. Yeah. Well put. A sassy lady voice. Where we're like da da da, and I think a lot of the comments are kind of trying to follow in that kind of vernacular field of like, right. Okay, let's go, Queen. And I've been leaving him a few like that as well from the Screen Rot page.
From the Screen Rot page.
Yeah. I was. He did a long one where he was talking about how his ointment had some really good effect on his skin, and he'd shaved a goatee in the bath, and he was like, "Oh my God, all the guys are going to be chasing me. Oh no!"
Nice.
And then he sort of showed his neck, and he had quite bad acne, and he's like, "I've still got a bit of the acne on the neck, and then he goes, "But I've got some more ointment for that. Neck gone clear." I caught it being like, "Neck gone clear, bitch. Let's fucking go." And so there is a lot
bit
of that.
Davis Clark energy for him, yeah.
Yeah. I thought he'd appreciate it. He didn't reply.
Should we watch one of him singing? Because I feel like that's the other piece of the puzzle here, right?
Yeah. So we've got some of this kind of sassy lady talk, as you put it.
Bit of cat talk.
He does the meows, and then this is the other thing, and this is a real talent.
And I think we should probably do this because this is at least like vaguely like, oh, it's clear why we're watching this man do this thing, because it's something that not everyone can do. We're about to go deep into cat noises after this, all right? This is the last bit of comprehensibility in the whole episode. So just enjoy this, cling on to this, and then we're going deep in the cat noises. He's in the shower. Did a bit of opera. He's really doing it facially as well, isn't he?
Performing, he's like his hands doing it. Now, I don't want to sound nasty, but you can tell he lives in quite a grim place because of the colour of the light. Do you know what I mean? That's a proper, like, landlord's done a cheap light bulb light.
Yeah. Do we know that he's full? Like, I've got no reason to doubt he's a proper opera. Would an opera singer come in here and be like, "Oh no, he's just messing around"? It's like me doing Pavarotti.
I don't know.
It sounds legit, doesn't it? Imagine living in the flat underneath it. Cat noises half the time, then this. He's not doing it by halves as well. He's giving it both barrels.
Yeah, he is. It's also what I really like is he's not looking at the camera.
No,
he's kind of shooting past.
He's fixed an eye. He's doing it to the audience, yeah.
He's doing well. I think he's doing. I've not watched this to the end before, by the way, have you? So I am.
If he gets his cock out, then it's
yeah,
not.
I was going to say, if something horrendous happens in a minute, I'm really sorry. Here we go.
No, just the last note.
Very nice.
Bosh. Love it.
So yeah, he can do that.
He can do that as well. Should we go straight into...
Well, the only thing I was going to say there, like what we've done in a few previous episodes, and shout out the wine guy, Tom Gilby, who got in contact with you, who listened to his episode. And
the Gilbinator, man. I had such an amazing interaction with the Gilbinator.
Yeah. He's great.
If you didn't, the week before last, we did Tom Gilby, who's this wine expert, funniest man on the internet. He's done an amazing video this week about the brand Mateus wine. Have you seen it?
It's good. Really
I'm not going to call it piss. I haven't tasted it yet. And
Yes.
he somehow got. I think one of us
somehow you tagged him.
Oh, did I tag him?
I
Or
think
was
it was you.
it was me.
Yeah.
I tagged him in the episode, and then he listened to it, and he just sent me these lovely messages.
And he enjoyed it. But I bring him up because in his episode we were like, in a pre-social media era, what would he have been? He'd have been on telly.
Yeah.
He'd have had like a 5-minute bit on the F word with Gordon Ramsay.
20 minutes going around Tuscany.
Yeah, or maybe he would have been on Sunday Brunch. Whatever. Frost and Leo, this guy, this is proper the surprise inclusion for the judge's house on the episode.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? He's in the same category as the £1 fish guy.
Yes.
Like,
yeah.
And I do think it's a shame that there is no longer a path for these people.
Yeah.
Well, although you say that, we are going to find out how he's monetizing this in a minute.
Yeah, that's true. And it's quite bleak. But like, God, we're lamenting. we're do you know what we're doing there? Do you remember the good old days when ITV would round up the freaks and make them perform for us?
Oh, yeah, exactly. I mean, it's Susan Boyle. It's Susan Boyle, isn't it?
Why were we so obsessed with that as a culture where it's like, you thought they weren't going to be good at singing. Guess what? They are.
I know. You know, it's funny that we're doing this after my holiday because I was thinking that on holiday. I was like, what is it about singing? Do you know what I mean? It's like you can redeem anything with a bit of singing. You're ugly, but you can sing. Do you know what I mean? It's like, why does that matter? Like, you can fucking count. Who cares?
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? It's like, I'm not saying you should.
But they don't correlate either. I guess
No.
like the kind of the whole point of celebrity culture is that good-looking people do stuff. But it's like Rick Waller was like a big lad, and it's like, yeah, of course he can sing. Pavarotti was a big lad. It's not relevant.
Why is it a kind of the most dramatic moment of British television history that Susan Boyle could sing?
Yeah.
Just because it's not my place to say she's ugly, but just because she looks like that,
we would not conventionally understand.
Why would you assume she can't sing?
Yeah.
In the same way of this guy, I feel like the kind of mad thing is like, again, I'm not saying he's ugly, but he looks like that, and it's like, oh, but you can sing. It's like, where's the but? Like, do you know what I mean? It'd be more surprising if
it should be and.
Yeah, exactly. And I can sing.
You can.
Well, no, I can't really.
Pubs and clubs, wasn't it?
Pubs and clubs. Yeah, that's what people said to me at school. They were like, you could be a pub singer, but I would just love if we could. I'd love to know his backstory. I'd love if he could come in with his mum and she would sit in the audition and sort of clap along. Do you know what I mean? Like Simon wouldn't like him.
You don't reckon?
No.
Who do you reckon would take him? Sharon? Sharon would take him, I reckon.
Yeah, Sharon would take him.
He'd be doing like opera versions of "Come On, Feel the Noise" and stuff.
Yeah,
Come
yeah,
on,
yeah.
feel the
God,
noise.
Yeah, that'd be good. That'd be really good, wouldn't it? With the cats.
Yeah,
They
there'd be some. What's the big
Cats
song from
playing
Cats?
keyboard or
Yeah.
whatever. Oh God! Oh yeah, the big song from Cat. Fuck it, we should contact him and pitch this.
What are we pitching? You could sing a song. He's doing a fucking podcast about us somewhere. So these two guys, they rang me up and they're pitching.
Well, I did message him. He's on a level where I was like, he might come on. I did message and say, do you want to come on and have a chat? But no, I don't know. I'd love to see him. It's the sad thing. I guess I was thinking about this with him because you really do see everything with him, and we're gonna, as you say, we're gonna flip through some other bits in a moment where you see him waiting for a train, you see him just pottering around, shouting for a grill in the street. Excuse me, as I was saying. Sorry, but I miss the days of ITV producers applying a storyline to him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
I wish you could have an arc. The sad thing about the internet is you don't really get an arc.
No, you don't.
Do you know what I mean?
No, you don't.
You kind of, they're pitched and then they stay, and that's it.
Yeah.
And they just sort of do the same thing a lot. And as I say at the start, I'm probably a couple of weeks late with this guy. He's like one of the biggest people we spoke about is Davis Clark.
Yeah.
And you and we speculate toward an arc. He is kind of doing the same shit.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And
I don't want to get like too Clive Martin about it, but we have discovered this theme by doing this podcast that like the kind of more interesting or eccentric characters, shall we say, used to be mediated to culture by these TV shows, and now. And we thought they were making them into freaks, but actually, like you've said on a number of occasions, they were downplaying.
They were the filter.
They were making them like vaguely palatable.
I mean, great example of this. Do you know a TikToker called Ed Matthews?
No.
He's like an English TikToker. He's friends with that HS TikToker.
Right.
I mean, like someone shared a thing. Again, it's like people like him and Bevo and stuff like that. They're just doing anything to create content that people watch. He went viral yesterday because he'd taken weeks, and I assume paid people to help him do this, to catch a paedophile.
He's actually doing like vigilante justice.
He's done the catch a pedo thing where you pretend to be a kid on the internet, chat to a paedophile for weeks. And what he'd done, he turned up at this bloke's house with a camera crew with a bowl and some cat food, and he was on TikTok live filming himself doing this, and he's saying he's literally got pieces of paper where he's screenshotting everything. And he's going, they're broadcasting this live, and they're going, we've got all this. We're going to phone the police and have you arrested for paedophilia if you don't eat the cat food.
Live on TikTok.
Eat the cat food live on TikTok. And they're going, meow like a cat, meow like a cat. And there's just this middle-aged bloke.
They should have done it to this bloke. You would have done it happily.
As I was saying.
But that is the most dystopian, disgusting thing I've ever heard.
It's fuck knows how they wrap that up. Good chance the geezer offs himself.
What do you do? Next week, do you just go back to like, today we're doing a challenge where we have to get to Stockport by train?
Yeah, or try and shag Bevo's missus or whatever. But as you were saying, that like now these people are in control of their own arcs.
Yeah.
So they're creating, and that's why Ed Matthews is hunting paedophiles. This guy, thankfully, doesn't kind of have the vision to do that. And he is just making the noises.
And what is fascinating as well is that like, by kind of reach or followers, this guy's a kind of niche oddball or whatever. But in a way, he's much more normal and palatable than the like 22-year-old guy with 7 million followers hunting hunting paedophiles on TikTok. Do you know what I mean?
He is. Like you and I can sit here and go,
we make noises.
I make noises. Here's my noises. Here's your noises.
Pleasure doing business with you.
My mate does this noise. Another friend of mine does this.
Dudes do like to talk about noises they've been making.
My best mate, Big Dave. He again, it's a real nice bit in a friendship where you go, so what's your noise then?
Yeah.
I remember Big Dave telling me that his one, and Foster Neo does one similar. Big Dave does a thing where he'd sneak up on his mum in the kitchen.
Yeah.
get behind. Bear in mind, Big Dave was like a 6'4", 13-year-old who had facial hair by the time he was 12. He'd sneak up behind his mum in the kitchen and go, she'd like, shut up, Michael. His name was Michael. Anyway, everyone's got a noise.
And they wonder why anxiety in 50-year-old women is through the roof. It's because their large adult sons are making gorilla noises behind them.
That's another one when I do that around my daughter, and she's like, that's the thing. But I guess what we're trying to say is you can relate to the noises. The noises. You can't relate to Ed Matthews hunting paedophiles.
Oh, and the constant. What I kind of like about him as well. We'll watch another video that you can kind of see it's kind of carried on. He is selling. I don't know exactly what he's selling. He's selling some wares through like a content creation platform that you might have heard of. But he's not really ratcheted up the kind of seriousness or the strangeness. It's always just been at a level, and this is kind of the level.
Again, waiting for a train.
Just waiting for a train. Not to be too Gordon Ramsay about it, but it's like clearly about 5 o'clock in the morning. He's on the platform in New York. It's completely empty. Where's he going? Where is he going? Where is he going? Sometimes you just have to say, where is that man going?
Okay, so I've watched a lot of this guy.
As we're well aware now.
It's quite bleak. I don't know what he does for a living. He hasn't got any money.
Does he not?
No, he's really struggling. And he kept, like, again, he's constantly, like, talking in the voice that you would kind of be talking to yourself around the house. And he did one the other day where he's like, Netflix cancelled my subscription because I can't pay it, but I bought Chinese food anyway.
Right.
Netflix or Chinese food, well, I can watch on my phone. Like, he's choosing between buying himself a takeaway.
I'm just going to clip that bit and put that bit on the Instagram.
Well, it's I don't know what he's doing, but I think he's struggling. It's what I'm trying to say. I don't think he's having a good time. I don't know why he's getting the train at 5 in the morning.
I think like this is the so this guy, right? He's maybe got some connection with the entertainment industry. Some of his pictures look kind of like slightly headshot-ish. As in, like, maybe he's done the rounds for auditions.
Maybe,
or
they also look a bit LinkedIn. I'm not really sure.
Not really sure.
Yeah.
But anyway, like, he's up to like 50, 60,000 followers, which like most comedians would probably chop off someone's arm for. Yeah. And people, like, every gig you go to at the moment, people are talking like, well, if you film in 4K and you do this and you bait the algorithm with this. This geezer's got on there, done a bit of opera, bit of cat noises, 50,000 followers, bosh, have some of that.
Yeah, and it looks like shit. All of it looks like shit. I mean, he does upload every day, I will say that.
He's consistent.
And, you know,
his agent's on it.
There are a few... there's a few 6,000 view ones where he just kind of... That's it. And we can watch another one if you want.
I think we were just trying to finish on a...
Some of it's much the same. I do want to get to his monetization strategy.
Is this the monetization?
Let's have a look. Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
So he's doing a bit of a dance with his Jama bottoms on.
Do you know I have an OnlyFans?
He wants to be DM'd for the OnlyFans. He's very body positive. I will say that about him. He's not fussed.
Yeah, he is. And
Dancer and all. Oh, bit of arse there. I didn't know that was there. I've not watched this one.
We have to be careful. We haven't really watched any of this. Yeah,
this apartment looks alright to me.
Well, I think that's kind of it.
Right, fair enough.
But I don't want to apartment shame the guy. Look, he's creating a market. And I will say, I've had a look through all the comments. There are people that are really into this.
Yeah.
He's got subscribers on the OnlyFans.
Yeah.
And I will say that is another thing about the internet nowadays. There is a market for anything.
Yeah.
You know, sexually, I mean.
Right.
You can sell anything.
Is he doing sexual stuff, though, or is it just singing and dancing and cats?
Well, but
not that it's bad to do sex stuff.
I mean, look,
not for me, but...
that's one area of research that I'm not willing to commit to. Is actually joining his
OnlyFans. If I see
fans.
the Patreon joint account paying for a subscription to Frost and Leo, Jacob in the platinum tier members, £200 a month, one-on-one Discord chats with the man himself.
I think it is sexual stuff. I think he is doing sexual stuff on there. But I mean, look, you can do, as I've said, I don't know if I've said it on the podcast before. I've had people buy my shoes where they've seen me
Done a
and they
bit of
want
sex
to
work,
do
yeah.
some dirty stuff with my shoes, socks, pants.
You talked about it very funnily in your last show.
Yeah, pictures of my feet. I don't care. More power to him.
Yeah.
And it's a bit of cash to pay for the all-inclusives. I don't really care.
Yeah, that animation team's not going to pay for itself.
Yeah, well.
But I think, like you say, there's, and this is germane to us as well, with hopefully the Patreon launching soon. But like, you don't. When you're just paying for you to produce the content, you actually don't need that many people to invest in that to make that worthwhile.
No. I mean,
That was always the old Stuart Lee thing, wasn't it? It was like 5,000 people to pay £10 a year to come and see you, and that kind of
keep
sorts
the
you out.
overhead slim.
Yeah.
I don't think he's paying for much.
And that's what, and that's where all of that, the old comedy things, we were talking about this earlier off mic as well, like the old kind of comedy agents and companies and whatever, they're effectively trying to do what this guy has done, which is create a little audience by hook or by crook. It doesn't matter. I remember when I was in the run-up to doing my Edinburgh show, the first and last Edinburgh show that I did, and God bless them, they were so lovely. There's this lovely lady called Mel that worked for the production company, and she would just ring me periodically and be like, have you thought about putting any content online? And I'd be like, no. Sell the tickets. And then like, God bless them, they couldn't. But it was like, this guy has done what they are all trying to do.
Yeah, he is. And I think it's as authentic as you can be. It is the noises he would make to amuse himself. And
Exactly.
I've had...
You do that, you never work a day in your life.
Well, yeah.
If you could get paid to do the dog and cat song.
But that's kind of it, though. Is like I've had long conversations with other comedians where you go, I just wish, but like what I'm trying to achieve on stage and I guess nowadays through content or whatever is trying to find that innate intimate funniness that you can achieve with your mates when you're down the pub, with your missus when you're sat at home.
Yeah.
And with him, it's even more intimate than that because it's what makes himself. It's what he does to entertain himself and I guess the cats. But and he's achieved that.
Yeah.
It's comedians write books on like if I could just find my inner voice. Often people refer to the inner child. What's the thing that would make you giggle as a kid? And
Yeah.
He's doing it. He's walking around doing it to himself on his phone, and a lot of people would lock him up for that. But I think I think he should be commended. I really respect the guy.
I agree. I think there's a real lesson in that. If you can find something you enjoy and other people enjoy it too, you bring a bit of joy to it. You bring a bit of love to it.
Should we watch one more? Should we just? Is there anything else to see?
There might be one. Let's finish on a bit of cat action, shall we?
I made this face and nobody came near me.
That one's a silent one.
It's the same again. It's just him gurning on a tube platform.
Repeat after me. I just got home and I need refreshment now. I just got home and I need
He's holding up a
refreshment
bottle of
now.
ginger ale.
I just got home and I need refreshment now. You try your Schweppes regular, Schweppes original.
I love the voice.
With the meows.
It's all it serves the meows. Oh, a bit of ice in there. Beautiful.
Lovely, actually. He's shaking a bit. Wonderful. That's exactly it. He's making himself a little drink at home, making stupid fucking noises while he does it, sharing it with the world, inviting the world into the most intimate moments of his life, the things that makes him happy. Beautiful.
And we hope you do it too. And we hope you take a lesson from Frost and Leo. Thanks so much for listening this week. We'll see you next week. Until then, rotters, God bless.
Thank you.